Bro, my new iconic just did 7 million damage. All right, my new iconic hit 7 mil damage. Now, you might be wondering, what new iconic are you talking about, LB? And how do I get it? I seen people using it, I heard about it, but how exactly do I get it, LB? Well, we're gonna break into it. I'm gonna break down how to get it, which powers I recommend it for the most, and is it worth buying? So let's get right into it. You guys got to see how broken this iconic is, but we're going to go in depth into it. But before we do, let's talk about how to get it, because that's probably the first thing you guys are wondering. Where do you get this iconic, LV, and how are you getting them? How are you acquiring them? We're going to answer that. So it's a collection called Lands of the Last Sun. Now, you get this collection in the new time capsule, which I'll put on the screen, and then you have to open the time capsules. Now, how do you open the time capsules, you may ask? Well, you have to run the stabilizer event every day, and you also have to buy stabilizers from the marketplace. What does that mean? Well, if you go to your on duty and you go to custom play, you go to stabilizer fragment solo, when you run this, it gives you stabilizers depending on, if you're a member, it gives you 9 stabilizer fragments. If you're a non-member, it gives you 5. You can only run this once a day, or the other option is you can go to the marketplace and buy unlocked capsules, or you can buy stabilizers to open the time capsules. Now, you don't have to buy this iconic. You don't have to buy the iconic, but it is very helpful and it's really cool to have. Now, when you do buy the stabilizers and you do acquire the stabilizers and you open the time capsules, you'll get this collection. As you open the time capsules, as you'll see on the screen, you'll get this collection. Now, here's the thing, and this is how DC gets you. You'll start opening the time capsule and you'll be like, damn, I'm getting close. I'm 9 out of 12. I'm 10 out of 12. I'm 11 out of 12. And then you'll come to realize that you need the Krypton collection. The Krypton collection is the rare collection of this iconic. And one thing I like to explain to people is that the rare collection is always at the bottom right with all of these iconics. And the rare collection is worth, I would say, 95% of the entire iconic. So realistically speaking, if you're smart, you just buy the iconic entirely off of someone. Now, there's several ways you can go about that. You can go in trade chat and shout, want to buy Sunstone iconic. You can go into the broker and look up Sunstone iconic because that's the name of the ability. Or you can contact me because I am selling it. All you have to do is go to my in the description, join my Discord, or DM me, contact me in the game because I am selling the Sunstone iconic. You can get it directly from me and save all the stress. But I would highly recommend to buy the iconic directly from someone, because if you open time capsules, there's no way to know how much money you're going to spend. You could spend no money. Maybe you use it, you get free stabilizers, or you could spend approximately $500 and you may not get it. It's a complete gamble on whether or not you get the collection. So let's quickly go over the iconic and then we can show some more gameplay on it. So it is a supercharge. The range itself, what does that mean? It means that the supercharge is going to activate on my body and it has a radius of 10 meters. So it's not melee, but you also can't be max range. You have to be somewhat close. It has a superpower modifier of 102 and an activation time of 1.5 seconds. Now, it is clippable, meaning you can clip it into Breakout Trinket, you can clip it into your Cola, you can clip it into your weapon buff, you can clip it into another supercharge like Neo Venom. It is clippable, which is huge. That means that you can clip it and then continue doing damage. Now, it unleashes an explosion that damages the enemies in the radius around you. Now, depending on what role you are, it has an additional effect on top of doing damage. And this is what makes it so OP, because it does a bunch of damage, but then it does even more than that. If you're in damage role, then it does damage ticks. So for duration of 12 seconds, it's ticking the enemies with a superpower modifier of 8.4 times 12. So this is why I highly recommend using the Sunstone Dust on boss fights. Now on the screen, I'll show you guys the Bat Swarm iconic. The Bat Swarm iconic is very, very good for hallways, which is another iconic that's a must-have if you want to be a top DPS. Bat Swarm is really good for hallways because of how it operates, and we're going to do a full comparison in the future of these iconics and which one's the best and all that sort of stuff. But the Bat Swarm is really good for hallways, but I would genuinely recommend using the Sunstone for boss fights. Now, you can use it on ads, but I would reckon you use it on boss fights. If you do use it on the ads, make sure that you try to get to the ads first So that way you can get as much as you can out of those damage ticks. Now, for controller roll, it's pretty straightforward. You get a shield multiplier of 1.8. It shields yourself and group members. Pretty straightforward. It's an extra shield that you can spam to give your group better survivability. As a healer, it has an explosion heal multiplier, and it has a heal over time. The explosion also heals allies caught inside, additionally restores health to you and group members. So think about it very simple. It causes a huge burst of heals. So let's say your group needs a lot of heals, they're taking a lot of damage, you pop this supercharge, you're going to get a huge explosion of heals that's going to heal them all back to full health. And then on tank roll, you get a personal shield, and you get a group breakout. Mind you, the shield multiplier is a shield multiplier of 3. It grants you a shield, additionally provides immunity and control effects to you and your group, and it removes control debuffs for you and your group members. Now, this tank one is really huge for people that are trying to battle tank, for people that are trying to PvP. You're definitely going to want to have this if you're PvPing because of the last effect. It removes control debuffs. So only imagine if you're PvPing Little Bohemia, for example, and you're going against a troll who debuffs you a lot. You pop this supercharge, it's going to remove all of those debuffs and give you immunity. So I think personally, my genuine opinion, I think this iconic is definitely worth it. But I do think that the iconic that everyone must have is the lasso. If you guys don't know about the lasso, I do make a video on it. I still think that the lasso is the best iconic in the game, but I still think the Sunstone is really, really, really good outside of the lasso and the bat storm. I think you can't go wrong with getting the Sunstone, but you do have to know how to use it, and primarily use it if you're using it in DPS role. You should primarily be using it on boss fights to really take advantage of those damage ticks. Now, at the beginning of the video, I did promise to give you guys some tips and tricks on how to use this iconic, and also tell you which powers it's really, really good for. Now, I think that it's good for all powers. Any power it works really well with. Why? Because every power has the ability to run Neo Venom, and you can put on Neo Venom, and if you pop Neo Venom, that's going to increase your damage output, and then you pop the Sunstone. Your Sunstone is guaranteed to do millions and millions of damage, but it can be very, very good for these specific powers. Now listen carefully. If you're Rage, it works really well. Why? Because when you're Rage, if you use Berserk and then you use Sunstone, let's say your Sunstone does 7 mil damage, your Berserk is going to repeat that 7 mil damage again. Or if you're Electricity and you pop Circuit Breaker, your Circuit Breaker is going to make your Sunstone iconic do more damage. If you're Ice and you go into Ice Elemental, it's going to make your Sunstone do more damage. If you're Nature and you go into Gorilla, it's going to make it do more damage. So you guys get the gist. Any power that has anything that can enhance your damage, whether it's a trinket or it's a supercharge, it's going to make the Sunstone do insane damage. But the reality is, the answer to your question is the iconic is good for all powers. It doesn't matter what power you are. It doesn't matter what role you are. The Sunstone is really good to have, and it's a must-have if you want to be endgame. Now, you don't have to get it, but if you want to be endgame, make sure you guys get it. Now, before we go, I did want to tell you guys, the time capsules also come with gear boxes that are absolute Kryptonian helmet. They come with these gear boxes that can actually enhance your CR. You actually can equip them, and they'll take you up to 439. As you guys can see, I'm CR 509 on the top left. So if you use these gear boxes, you can actually scale your CR all the way up to 439. Now, you get these gear boxes through the time capsules, and then you also get emblems. Now, these emblems, a lot of you guys may not care for them, but they are feats. If you guys look over the deeds and feats, you go to time capsule, you get a feat for opening 25 capsules, and then you also get a feat for completing the style set, and then you get a feat for getting the hairstyle, for getting the helmet, for getting the iconic. Yes, you guys heard that right. The iconic is a feat. Then you get a feat for the emblems. Now, look at how many feats are for the emblems. So if you guys are not going to be opening the capsules, or maybe you're missing some emblems, you guys are welcome to contact me. I do have a lot of spares, as you guys can see, because I did open a lot of time capsules. I have a lot of emblems and a lot of gears. So if you guys either want the style feat, or if you guys would want to get your gear, your CR up, this is the perfect gear to do so. If you guys are wondering how the style looks like, this is the new style. This is the enhanced Kryptonian style. Let me know what you guys think. And without further ado, I'll catch you guys